Welcome back to another YouTube video. I know it's been a little while since I've uploaded one of these. I know I did one, or maybe I did upload the Victoria training weekend one last weekend. No, I'm 2 weeks out from Victoria 70.3, and I thought this video is gonna be a little bit different. No training involved, I'm gonna do a little Q&A at the end, but I'm gonna show you guys more in depth the tri-bike that I bought, because I know I kind of showed it last video, as well as I got a couple of other things for this upcoming race that I thought I'd show you guys as well. So here's the tri-bike right behind me here. The big difference and the big thing I just put on it was I found these wheels. So these are, I don't know if you guys can see, these are the Reynolds 5862. So I think it's a 58 millimeter or something wheel. I think that, I don't know if it's millimeters or what the heck it is, but 58 in the front, 62 in the back. Put these on, and then got the tires I'm using are Continental GP 5000s. And yeah, that's kind of the setup. I just got a bike fitment done on it, and I've just been kind of tinkering with it the last few days. Yeah, kind of cool that it came with this water bottle here, and no, I really like it. I took it out for a little bit of a ride the other day, and really enjoyed it. And I've just been kind of tweaking the aero bars a little bit to try to find what position I like, because the guy at the bike fitment place kind of had them really wide, and it was almost so uncomfortable to the point where I couldn't even sit in that position for like longer than 2 minutes. So I've kind of just been tinkering it with it myself, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's yeah, for those of you guys who are curious what kind of bike it is, it's the Cervelo P series. It's the most base model tri-bike that Cervelo makes. It's got the 105 group set. But yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to show you guys, so I'm excited about that. But this was another, see this thing right here? This wasn't here before. It's a Horizon 7.4 treadmill. I used to have a treadmill in my apartment, but I ended up getting rid of it just because it took up a lot of space and it was breaking a lot. So I ended up just getting a new one, found a really good deal on one, and I just honestly, like, I didn't get this just for triathlon training. Like, honestly, like when I'm doing client check-ins and stuff like that, or sitting on my computer for uni, if I'm writing a paper, I can just walk while I do my homework. It's awesome. And honestly, having a treadmill in your apartment or in your house is just so nice. Another thing I got, I guess, I had to get a new heart rate monitor. I got the HRM Pro Plus just because my last one crapped out on me. I kept replacing the batteries, and it was just going through batteries like crazy, kind of crappy. But no, I'll show you the next, or I guess the last thing that I've recently picked up here. Yeah, how we looking? This is the newest. I ordered this in just a couple days ago. It's the Gyro Arrowhead tri-helmet, because the last helmet I bought was like $30, and apparently one of the best ways to kind of save some watts, I guess, is to just get a helmet. And I thought with me doing the full one in a couple months, I was just gonna get a better road helmet, but then I was like, well, what's the point of me getting a better road helmet? Why I should just get a tri-helmet. I mean, that's why I'm doing all this stuff in the first place. So yeah, pretty cool helmet. I didn't want white, I wanted black, but they didn't have it in stock, so your boy's gonna be rocking a white helmet. And then it's got this magnetic visor thing, and like, alls I know is I feel like I should not be wearing something like this. Like, my level in triathlon, I feel like, is just not up to par with having this equipment. But I mean, no, I'm excited for it. And obviously, yeah, with the bike now set up and got the treadmill all hooked up, I mean, training's gonna go really good from here on out. And obviously I'm looking to do one more 70.3 before the end of this year. I'm not really sure which one I want to do quite yet. I'm kind of looking at Florida, maybe. There's one in California. I forget what it's called, but I'm just looking at ones that are kind of close to where I live, so I don't obviously have to spend all that much money traveling and everything like that. But yeah, looking at doing one more 70.3. And obviously now with the bike all set up, got the aero helmet, got a treadmill, can definitely get a lot of productive training in this winter. All right, so really quickly, another thing that I got is lock laces. So these are something I didn't use when I was in Texas. And I don't even know if these are the right lock laces, but shout out to my grandma. She actually picked these up for me, and they're called Caterpries. But that's what they look like. They kind of have like these beads on them. And I think the idea is you thread them through your shoe, and then when you pull them tight, you don't have to tie them. You just pull them tight, and then they're kind of good to go. So those are pretty cool. And yeah, I also got the actual elastic laces coming on Amazon, but I just wanted to tell you guys that. But yeah, let's get into the little Q&A, because I'm going to answer some good questions for you guys. A lot of you guys have been asking, not only just DMing me, but on like TikTok and everything, like all my social media platforms. They're just common things that kind of been asked to me, just about like, because obviously I'm super new to triathlon and I just started swimming and like all this different stuff. So hopefully some of these questions are ones that you might have personally, and it can help you with your own journey. So let's get into it. Number one, what is the number one thing that has helped you improve your swimming? So honestly, I would say for me, just coming from someone with an absolute zero swim background, like I am a terrible swimmer. Like the first time I ever went to lane swim was terrible. Like I think I averaged like a 2:30 per 100 meters over the course of 2K. Like it was terrible, and I literally hated it. And I would say the biggest thing that helped me, there was no secret. I mean, obviously you can do certain types of workouts that can help, but I think the biggest thing for me was just the frequency. I swam at minimum 3 times per week, and I would try to get in the pool 5 times, and I was just kind of pushing myself out of my comfort zone to get in the pool as much as I could have, and I found that was the biggest thing that kind of helped me, I guess. I mean, the new form goggles I bought are actually like a game changer. Like it's just nice to be able to see your paces in live time, because I think the Garmin watches do a terrible job of tracking your swims anyway, but the form goggles, they honestly just make swimming, especially for me, they just make it so much more fun, more enjoyable. I look forward to swimming a lot more with them, which again, all comes into, I think, me increasing my frequency, which ultimately I think has helped me the most. Number 2, what are some of the things you are really grateful for that you did before your Texas race? Honestly, I would say getting a bike computer. I think that was a really good investment that I made. I already had the power pedals set up on that felt, the white felt that I raced on in Texas, just because the guy who I bought it off Facebook Marketplace with had them on him, or it came with the pedals on them. But honestly, the bike computer was really, really nice, just because obviously I had my watch and it can do a lot of the same things the bike computer can do, but having my watts right in front of me on a screen, having how far I've gone, the time, just kind of helped me, I guess, mentally, from a mental standpoint, just remain calm. I knew how much power I was putting out. I made sure that I was kind of on pace to hit my goal time, and honestly, I think that was honestly probably one of the biggest things, besides like the way I did my nutrition leading up into it, which I'll touch on, because the next question is, how should I do pre-race nutrition? So obviously, take everything I'm about to say with a grain of salt, and always it's going to be different for everybody. But for what I did before Texas, obviously the days leading into the race, you are not in any way, shape, or form burning the same amount of calories that you would be in a typical training week. So the biggest thing that I did was I drastically reduced my caloric intake, because I was taking maybe 2,000-3,000 steps a day. I was sitting, I was just focusing on recovering, being fresh for the race on the Sunday. So I kept my calories relatively low around my maintenance. So I was only eating 23 to 2,500 calories because I simply just wasn't moving all day. Like, yeah, I went to the Ironman Village, I walked around a little bit, but I simply just wasn't being very active, and that's because I was trying to recover. And I think that not stuffing my face made me feel so much better going into the race, because I did that for my marathon. I just carb loaded for like for a week straight, and I feel like when you increase your calories so much, when you decrease your activity like that, it's not beneficial for you whatsoever. So I really found, and I'm going to do this leading into Victoria as well, decrease my caloric intake for the 5 days leading into the race, and then once you get about 3 days out, really watch your fat intake and your protein intake, and get the majority of your calories from carbohydrates. Get like a minimum fat requirement. Obviously it's okay if you have a little bit of fat and protein, but ultimately the majority of your calories you should be getting from carbohydrates. And like, just think about it like you don't want to go into the race with a really full stomach. So by eating a lot of fat, eating a lot of protein, your body, it takes longer to digest those kinds of foods. So when you eat primarily carbohydrates, that's really going to help just keep your digestive system going. It's going to make you go through the food a lot faster. You're going to go to the bathroom more. So on race day, you're obviously light, you're on an empty stomach, and that's what I did, and I felt freaking amazing. So obviously take everything I say with a grain of salt, but I found that really helped me. Next question, number 4, how much did you invest to do Texas 70.3? So honestly, like, I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm just going to spit out some baseline things of everything that I can think of off the top of my head. So the first thing that I bought was my tri-bike. I paid $1,100 Canadian for that on Facebook Marketplace. It came with everything I needed. The next thing I bought was a Garmin smartwatch. I got the Garmin Forerunner 955. I think this was like $650 at the time. And I bought a heart rate strap. And seriously, and I got a smart trainer. So I think maybe $2,000 I spent right initially, right off the bat, to get all the equipment I needed to train kind of while it was snowing here in Canada. I got the smart trainer, I got Zwift and all that good stuff. But yeah, I invested about $2,000, I guess, before Texas, and obviously leading into it with like taking my bike to the bike shop and a couple of things. Like, I'm sure that added another grand, just picking up little things before the race. My Alpha Fly 2 Next Percents that I picked up. Just little things for the race, like my nutrition, all that stuff. And obviously the entry fees for Ironman races are not cheap either. I think it was about $600 or $700 Canadian, all said and done, just to pay the entry fee to the Ironman. Like, triathlon is a very expensive sport, and I've kind of found that out myself. Like, it's a very, like, if you need, it needs to be something that you're 100% for sure on and you can afford. And obviously, you don't need to spend that much money, though, I don't think. Like, if you sign up for the race and you have a bike and you have a pair of running shoes, you have a watch, you have a heart rate strap, and you have something you can ride Zwift inside, which you don't even need. I think with those things, I mean, you can, seriously, that's all you need. And that's all I've really used for the past 5-6 months, 4 or 5 months of me training. And yeah, I would say, how much did I invest before Texas? I think with race fees, everything, probably $4 or $5,000, plus traveling down there. I mean, driving was not cheap. I mean, the amount of gas we spent, hotels, I'd say about $5,000 to have that experience. Which, would I do it again? 100%. It was so worth it. It was one of the best experiences of my life, and it just makes me more excited to do Victoria in just a couple weeks. But moving on to the next question, kind of ties in with this one, but how would you, or what would the best way to get into triathlon be on a budget? So Facebook Marketplace, that's where I bought literally most of my stuff, like my heart rate strap even. Almost everything I have that's somewhat nice, I try to buy secondhand. That's just because let somebody else pay the depreciation and let it depreciate a little bit and then take it off their hands. You're gonna, and just make sure obviously that it's not broken and they're not Jewing you. But no, at the end of the day, I think Facebook Marketplace, I bought my bike on there, I got my heart rate strap on there, and just be smart about it. Like, don't buy anything you don't need. And honestly, like, I would say that would be my biggest tip to get into it on a budget. Get your the basic things you need. I think a smart trainer is important. I think obviously a bike is important. Get yourself a Garmin smartwatch or any smartwatch. Get yourself a heart rate strap and a nice pair of race shoes. And between those things, and obviously you'll need a wetsuit too. But I mean, those range in price. Just get yourself one that's been used, maybe if you can, on Facebook, or obviously just get an entry-level one. Like, you don't need a super expensive one. Like, I bought the middle of the pack one. Like, I could not justify spending $1,000 or $1,200 on a wetsuit. Like, it's stupid. But yeah, that's kind of my biggest advice. Just use Facebook Marketplace. Use any sort of marketplace, eBay, whatever it is. Great deals on there. How many calories do you eat a day to maintain / build muscle? So, I mean, this is really going to vary, and obviously do not take my calories and put them to yourself and think it's going to work for you. But on a non-training day, when I'm just sitting here and I'm not doing anything and I'm just literally being an absolute lump, I only will eat about 24 to 2,600 calories on a rest day. But on days that I'm training, Monday through Friday, where I'm only doing about maybe an hour bike and maybe 45 minutes of something else like a swim and lifting, probably around 3,000, 3,300, around there. And then obviously on the weekends when I'm doing like a 4 or 5 hour bike ride plus 2 hours of running, like whatever it might be, I mean, I don't even really I don't track on those days. I track during the week when obviously I just want to make sure that I'm not over consuming. But on the weekends when I have those big training, I just eat whatever I want. I think I probably eat close to 5,000 to 6,000 calories on those days. Like, I don't lose weight after the weekend, so I definitely eat a lot, and I definitely try to make up for it. Because I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to train for triathlon and you want to build muscle and you want to progress your physique, it is very difficult to do that if you aren't endurance training and you're in a deficit. So you need to make sure that you're eating enough food. You're at least in a slight surplus if you want to build muscle while doing all this endurance training. I mean, again, it's not, doing triathlon isn't optimal for building muscle. I mean, it's pretty, I mean, it is what it is. Like, you kind of have to prioritize one or the other, and for me, I'm prioritizing triathlon right now. And obviously just trying to maintain the muscle I've built over the last couple of years, and still trying to push strength in the gym and stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of, I guess, to answer that question, yeah, those were the calories I was consuming. How do I use my Garmin watch to help me with my training? So the biggest thing I use this for, I think they're irrelevant for swimming because they just do a shitty job of tracking. Cycling, I don't use this either because I think it's pointless. But for when I'm running and when I sleep, and for everything in between, like my steps, everything, that's what I really like this for. I mean, it tracks my resting heart rate, gives me an estimated VO2 max. It just shows me like little metrics that I actually really enjoy looking at, that I think is just helps me just ensure that I mean, it's just like another really cool thing to look at. And I love all the data. Like, I'm a big data guy, like with my training peaks and looking at how I progressed over time. Like, I love looking at all that. Like, I don't know if that's just because like that's my inner coach coming out, but like I just really enjoy all the data and stuff like that. So honestly, the biggest thing I use my Garmin watch for is like pacing my runs and then just tracking my metrics. And obviously Garmin will track all your workouts, and I think that's really, really important to have some sort of software that all your workouts upload to. I think that's huge. But yeah, that's kind of what I use my Garmin watch for, just simply tracking my metrics, pacing my runs. But in terms of like exercise, running is really the big one I use it for, because I have a bike computer now, I have Swift, and then for swimming I just use my form goggles now. But next question is, what's the biggest thing you've learned about training for Ironmans? I would say just the time that it takes to commit to something like doing an Ironman. That's something I was definitely ready to do, but it maybe was a little bit more than I realized. I mean, it's a big social commitment. It's a big personal commitment. Like everybody in your life kind of has to. I don't really know how to put it. Like obviously, I'm a single 20-year-old who's in university. Like I could go out and drink every weekend, but I mean, I still go out and have fun with my friends. Like, don't get me wrong. But I mean, I chose to do this to obviously help inspire you guys and motivate you guys and push you guys and just to help inspire you to do something out of your comfort zone. This was something I really wanted to do. And I think at the end of the day, you just it's gonna take a commitment. It's gonna take obviously, I don't think there's anybody who's done an Ironman and said it wasn't worth it. I think the lessons you learn with time management, the delayed gratification, the consistency, the discipline, I think all those things outweigh the slight discomfort and maybe isolation that you go through when training for something like an Ironman. I mean, obviously I say isolation, but like I think it really just depends on how much you're training and everything like that. I mean, you could totally get away training for an Ironman 6 to 7 hours a week, I think, and have a good Ironman. Like while I was in school, I was probably only training. I mean, I was trying to do as much as I could, and I think I was only training 10 to 12 hours max. And obviously before Texas, like right before, I was really going hard, and I think I was averaging about 15 to 18. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing I've learned is just it's a lot, and you need to be honestly willing to embrace all of it. I think is like the best way for me to put it. But okay, question 9. What is your plan after you finish Lake Placid and Victoria? So I don't really know yet, but like I kind of mentioned earlier in this video, I think I'm gonna do one more 70.3 or maybe another full. I don't really know. I do want to do one more race by the end of the year. It's definitely going to be a lot. I'm going to choose it wisely, like something that, a course that I think I can do well on, and it's not too far, and it's not going to be super expensive for me to travel down there. And yeah, I don't know what yet. So if you have an idea of what Ironman I should do, comment it down below, because I very well could just pick one of those, because I honestly have no freaking idea. But yeah, that's kind of my plan after that, and just continue to obviously I'm starting school again next fall. It'll be my last semester, or potentially last semester, depending on if I take a full course load. And yeah, I mean, this summer I'm just working on the farm, obviously creating content for you guys, coaching, one-on-one coaching and stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of my plan moving forward. Nothing really exciting. But yeah, comment below if you know what Ironman I should do next, 'cause I have no idea what to do. Name 5 things you found crucial to help you with your training. So last question. So 5 things that I think were crucial to help me with my training is number 1, smart trainer, Zwift. If I didn't have that, I don't think I would have done as well as I did in Texas. Not that I crushed it out of the park by any means, but I just thought I did well for myself in the conditions that I was kind of I had going into the race. I think Zwift and a smart trainer were huge for me. I think the next thing that would have helped my training is the Garmin smartwatch. Just having something that can track all my workouts and put it all in one place was huge. The third thing would be a heart rate strap. I did a lot of my training based on heart rate, and I think everybody should. Like, make sure your easy runs are easy, your easy bike rides are easy, that kind of shit. So that's 3. The next one would be, honestly, like, I would say electrolytes and nutrition. Like, I remember when I first started, I wouldn't take anything on my bike rides. I'd be like, oh, like, screw that. It's only like 2 hours. Like, heaven forbid I have enough energy in my system. I can just rock through a bike ride. But like, I would literally bonk out an hour in every single time. And I think that's why it's important to take something like electrolytes, because as soon as I started doing that, I felt like a crap ton better when I go through those workouts. So definitely electrolytes would be number 4 in terms of helping me with my training. And then the last thing would be, think of a swimming one. Honestly, for swimming, I would say those form goggles have been huge. Like, yeah, they're okay. I think they were $300 Canadian to buy, and I know that's expensive. I mean, but if you are someone like me who struggles with swimming and you find it just like it's one of those things that you're like, fuck, like, I don't want to go to the pool, highly recommend them. like, they honestly have made me actually enjoy swimming. Like, I hated swimming before, but now it's actually kind of fun because like it leads you. They have a lot of programs put in on the app on your phone, and you just download whatever workout you want to do. They have like Ironman training programs that you can follow and all that stuff, and it's really, really easy to follow. And I mean, I think that's been huge. And I don't know if that's 4 or 5, but yeah. So smartwatch, smart trainer and Zwift, heart rate monitor, electrolytes, and the Form swimming goggles, I think are the best things that have helped me with my training. And no, that's all the questions that I wrote down. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yeah, so we're going to Victoria here in 2 weeks time. I'll try to get out one more YouTube video maybe next weekend. Obviously that'll be kind of like a couple travel days next week heading out there, and then I'm staying with some friends from high school that live out there and are working and going to school. So no, until next time. But yeah, 2 weeks out. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you follow me on Instagram, subscribe, like, comment something on this video if you've made it to this point. I really do appreciate all you guys. And just remember, like, if you guys want to, shoot me a DM if you have any personal questions. Like, I will answer all of them. It's not like I'm getting a lot of DMs from people. So I would love to answer you guys' questions and obviously chat to you guys. Maybe if you guys are on your own triathlon journey, you name it. I'd love to just talk to you guys about it. So that wraps up this video. See you guys in the next one. But yeah,